Hello, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, coming to you from my new apartment in Fort Wayne, Indiana, baby. I'm here with Mr. TJ Hopkins. I'm David On Point. And if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Prime Sports World is a good place to hang out. We go live basically every single day, bringing you the most up-to-date content, including we are going to be down to 4 teams that we need to preview before the start of the NFL season. And we still got 5 weeks to get that done. So I think we're in good shape there. Also, I have shared the StreamYard link into our main Facebook page, which is Prime Sports World. So if you want to join us and talk a little Cincinnati Bengals football, go right ahead. I just ask you to keep your comments PG because we do not want to get in trouble with Zuckerberg or whoever owns YouTube or whoever owns Twitter. So it is not, what's his name, who did not buy it. But yeah, hey, TJ, happy Sunday, man. How are you? This is the final Sunday. We will not have football. Congratulations. You made it.
It's also, we got three or four Saturdays until college football. So, just a couple more weekends until 48 hours of uninterrupted football all the way around. So it's going to be good.
For sure, something to look forward to. But yeah, Cincinnati, man, one of the shocking teams of the NFL last season. Nobody really thought they'd go all the way to the Super Bowl. Nobody really thought they'd even be a playoff team. And then they go to the Super Bowl and they're one better offensive line away from winning the whole damn thing.
Yeah, they what was they? What was their record last season?
1 second, I will pull that up. Cincinnati depth chart. They were first in the AFC North. I cannot.
First in the AFC North. They went 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7 last season. Yeah.
So you go 10-7. You're a wild card team. Basically, it's rare that wild card teams wild card teams go from that all the way to the Super Bowl because that's an extra game you got to play,
and I mentioned you got to win all those games on the road,
and you got to win all those games on the road. Like that Raider game.
They were they no, they were not the number 1 seed. Yeah, they won the AFC North, so they played wild card weekend, but yeah, they didn't have to win all the games on the road. My apologies. But also the 49ers, they just extended Deebo Samuel within the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
$73.5 million,
$8.1 million guaranteed. Wow. All right, good for him, man. Boy, get your money.
Get your money. And Deshaun, a ruling on the Deshaun Watson case should come down sometime tomorrow. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, Cincinnati, to your point, they are one block on Aaron Donald away from
winning the Super Bowl for real. They get that block, they win the Super Bowl. Was it Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins was literally wide open? Jamar Chase. Yeah, he was literally streaking down there. They would have been an easy walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, what's his name? Jalen Ramsey had a Super Bowl to forget.
That's 100% true. We'll get into the Rams sometime either this week or next week, depending on how things go. I'm starting a new job tomorrow, so yeah, I don't know what my schedule is going to be like moving forward. At least tomorrow, so I can figure things out. But yeah, Cincinnati for me, it's Cincinnati this season. I look at what they did in the offseason. We'll get into their free agency, what they did in the draft. But this is a team that should be better than they were last year. I look at their roster on paper. I'm this is like if Joe Burrow continues to take that step forward that everybody kind of expects him to take. This should be if it is, you like to say, the second best team in the AFC.
Yeah, the offensive line is still a concern, and it should be because I get it. You've made moves to address that, but until those guys actually play together, until they block somebody that's not their teammate, that's literally trying to take Joe Burrow's head off, then it's hard to say, the offensive line is improved. Not to mention, most Super Bowl teams get leached. Coaching staffs, coaches leave, players leave in free agency. They lost their starting tight end and CJ Uzoma, which we'll get to. But other than that, if Joe Burrow continues to take that next step, it all depends on that. It all depends on that offensive line, right? Like he got sacked. He was the most sacked quarterback this past
I mean,
season.
in
right?
three playoff games, I think in 2 playoff games, he got sacked 17 times in 3 playoff games, or 2 playoff games against the Titans and against the Rams. That's too much.
And
Wildly too much.
not to mention how many times he got sacked over the course of the entire season. Right? Like, again, first off, it was a miracle that he walked out of that Titans game. Like again,
Yeah.
not many teams win a game when your quarterback got sacked 9 times. Right, 9, and it's not like the Titans have.
I mean, it's not a Harold Landry. I mean, they don't. I mean, I know they signed what's his name that was on the Steelers, but he really didn't have a big impact on last season. Yeah, Bud Dupree. Thank you very much. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Let's go into the storylines. First of all, let's talk about the Super Bowl hangover. Only 8 times in the history of the National Football League as a team that has lost the Super Bowl returned. The Bengals do have some history on their side because the Patriots did it in 2018. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles the season before, and then the Patriots go back and beat the Rams, actually conveniently enough, in Super Bowl in 2018. The Buffalo Bills did that for basically 3 years in a row, but only 8 teams have lost the Super Bowl and then made it back the following season. So it's one of those things, the Super Bowl hangover, and it's one of those terms people throw on, but it's for real. Like teams that used to lose the Super Bowl don't tend to go back all that often. I mean, look at the Atlanta Falcons, were looking like they were going to be a dynasty, and they couldn't even get out of the second round in seasons after that. And look at them now; they've completely fallen apart. So, how do the Bengals go about avoiding that Super Bowl hangover?
Stay humble. Yeah, pretty much that. Stay humble. You got to keep in mind. All right, you caught some breaks this past season, last season, right? Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean Lamar Jackson in and out with injuries. Big Ben.
Baltimore falls apart. Big Ben, old.
I mean, the Browns were the Browns. And then in the playoffs, I mean, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs basically imploded on themselves. And you had, they played a Derrick Henry-led Tennessee Titans coming off like 2 months off. So who knows what he would have been like if he had been fresh.
Well, put it this way. Derrick Henry played 8 games last season. He was still like 30 yards short of 1,000 yards.
I mean, he was still number one in rushing like 3 weeks after he stopped playing.
So it's yeah. So I mean, luck has to do with it, right? Like you are more like it's not your fault that Baltimore fell apart. Big Ben's arm was a noodle. Baker Mayfield was Baker Mayfield. That's not Cincinnati's fault.
No, but I mean, you're not going to apologize for stuff like that happening, and all of this nonsense. Like, so there's this Joe Mixon stuff that's been going out like the last day or so. Like, I didn't even realize that was like a thing. Like,
I didn't either. What Joe Mixon stuff?
So apparently, apparently there was like some rift between him and Zach Taylor about the fact that Joe Mixon wasn't in the game for the last 4 snaps in the Super Bowl, and apparently there was like a whole rift between Mixon and Taylor. And I'm like, I didn't realize that was even a thing until like I read about it on ESPN today or yesterday. I'm like, okay, that's a concern that people are having. Like, come on, are you kidding me?
I mean, like when you consider that's your starting running back, when the money is on the line, you want your best players on the field.
And I guess Joe Mixon was like, yeah, I guess I should have pushed harder to get onto the field and stuff. I'm like, but I didn't realize that was even like something people were talking about.
I didn't either, and and that's how that's how you get over the Super Bowl hangover. Like, stop bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like your new season has officially started, and you're still tripping over. Then I went on the field the last 4 plays of the most important game. Like, no, let that go. It's over. It's done. Right? There's also no telling, if you're in the game those last 4 plays, guess what? Your offensive line still don't block Aaron Donald.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's
not to mention you were basically in passing situations. This Samaje Perine is the better pass catching running back. I mean, that's the reason he was in the game. I mean, sometimes the coach has to make coaching decisions, and like if he's the better pass catching running back, and you're in a full pass catching situation, yeah, sure, he's going to be in the game. Like I don't think Zach Taylor needs to apologize to anyone for being like, hey, I went with a guy I thought would give us a better chance to win in that exact moment, but you're still the guy that we're going to give the ball to 25 times a game. Like, don't be worried about it. Like it's stuff like that actually ruins seasons. Like where you have like Joe Mixon who's just complaining about his touches in the Super Bowl on the last 4 plays of the Super Bowl that ends up rooting potentially really good seasons. Like it's stuff like that. Like stupid petty stuff that like people want to complain about.
Yeah, that's how you dwell. Like that's how you get over the Super Bowl hangover. Like, all right, it's done, it's over. You know, like what you call it. You can make the argument like, yo, like that was the downfall of Seattle. That was the downfall of
Atlanta too. I mean, everybody talking about that sack that Matt Ryan took when the lead was 28-3, or even the play calling altogether from Kyle Shanahan, and then that throwing the football in that goal line situation, with Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, those they never recovered because of stuff like that.
And take it a level deeper, like it's teams that still hold on to other playoff losses that they never recover from. You still got players from the Bears talking about the double doink. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. It happens. I mean, like it sucks. It does, but it happens. So if you're Cincinnati and you're most likely, more specifically Joe Burrow, like this is like be humble, but also understand like, all right, this is the standard now. Right, like this is it. So you want to be taken seriously? You want to know why Tom Brady is called the GOAT? This is why.
Yeah.
You have to win.
And not to mention, Cincinnati's not going to sneak up on anybody again. Like you played the Super Bowl, people were like, yeah, when Cincinnati comes to town, they're circling that on the calendar. It's like, hey, we got to win. Like if we can beat Cincinnati, that means we're going to be a contender in the AFC.
And on top of that, like you're gonna get everybody's best. So you winning your division, David likes to point out your schedule. Okay, now you play everybody else who won their division.
Mm-hmm. Like you're not playing a last place schedule anymore, like
or a third place schedule anymore. Like so you're gonna play you're gonna play Green Bay, you're gonna play a Dallas, you're gonna play a Chargers again, or whoever won the AFC West, the Chiefs. You're gonna play the Chiefs again, and if you don't think the Chiefs want they lit back, they don't give a damn about some regular season game. No, they want you when it matters the most. They are praying that they cross y'all that y'all pass cross in the playoffs again.
I mean, Kansas City lost to Buffalo in the regular season last season, and I wouldn't say they beat them in the playoffs. All right, we'll just. I'm not going to say anything. That was a good game, but they beat them in the playoffs. And then they beat, the same thing happened a couple years ago when they played the Titans, and then they beat them in the playoffs. Like, like all that, man. You're not going to sneak up on Cincinnati. It's not sneaking up on anybody. But yeah, the best way to avoid the Super Bowl hangover is to avoid those petty conversations. Just kind of stay away from that kind of stuff and like be humble and like continue to work and continue to get better. And I think they did a really good job. Like I know we're going to talk about their offseason here in a few minutes, but like what they did with this offensive line in free agency was stellar on paper.
Like, I'm not saying you didn't improve the line, but until those guys play a game together where you're not blocking your teammate because your teammate don't want to kill Joe Burrow, like no.
Yeah, but I think on paper what they did with that offensive line in one free agency cycle was pretty impressive.
Like you play TJ Watt week 1, he wants to kill Joe Burrow, right? Like so.
Yeah, 100%.
Figuratively speaking, I'm like he doesn't actually, you get what I'm saying, but like he doesn't want to, like like we'll go over their schedule, but next question: do they have the best receiving? Oh, that's a good one.
Best receiving core in the NFL. That includes their tight end situation. That includes their running back situation as well. Like just skill positions in general. Is this the best skill possession team in the NFL? I mean, you got Hayden Hurst, who's supposed to be playing really good in training camp right now, but I always take stuff like that with a grain of salt. Nobody ever comes out and says this guy looks like trash in training camp. But Hayden Hurst, was a former first-round pick. Joe Mixon has been a really good running back for them over the last 3 seasons. Samaje Perine is a good pass-catching running back. They got Chris Evans as well. And they got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I mean, as their wide receivers. I mean, I think they do have the best wide receivers, tight end, running back. Like as a three-headed as a group there, I think that might be the best in the National Football League. I'm not sure who I would take over it.
They also have Elijah Holyfield, who is the son of boxing Hall of Famer world champ Evander Holyfield. So throw that out there. Ain't that like that? Dude, we are old, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Well, you're old. I'm not. I'm only 4 years older than this kid. So yeah, that's for yeah. Anyway, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Yeah, find a trio that's tougher than that. Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Odell. Technically, Odell is still on the roster. Like they just Allen Robinson. Like only reason
Elijah Holyfield has he suffered a back injury. His season is over.
Oh, poor kid.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, sorry,
dude. Get well soon. But the only reason Allen Robinson got that 3-year deal from the Rams is because Odell is currently out with recovering from the ACL. But yeah, if Rams fans want to say their core is better, you can't.
I would rather have Cincinnati's.
Cooper.
I mean, the running back room I think is better in Cincinnati. Like, give me Joe Mixon over whoever they're gonna be rolling out with. I guess.
Well, let's give Cam Akers a full season.
Yeah, I mean Joe Mixon's established. I don't think this is close. I think Cincinnati has way. I would take Cincinnati over the Rams by a heartbeat.
I wouldn't go a heartbeat.
I mean, if you want to talk about the Chargers, you want to talk about Jared Everett, you want to talk about, Mike Williams, you want to talk about Keenan Allen, who's the other? I guess the kid from Tennessee would probably be the third guy, Joshua Palmer, and then Austin Eckler. As I think that's pretty close.
Raiders now. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. If we're including tight ends, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I think that's close too.
Minnesota, but Minnesota's tight end game, we're still waiting on Irv Smith
to be healthy ever again.
But trio wise, JJ, Thielen, Dalvin Cook, like that's a tough 3-headed monster.
Yeah,
and we'd be disrespectful to not mention Tampa Bay, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Yeah. Now Julio Jones.
Chris Godwin when he come back, Julio Jones, Lombardi, and they still got Cameron Brate.
That's pretty good too. I still think Cincinnati has the edge. I think Jamar Chase is only going to get better from here. T. Higgins is only going to get better. He's only going in his third season. Tyler Boyd is the youngest of this group, and he's only 27 years old.
But no, Jamar Chase is the youngest of the group.
No, I said Tyler Boyd is the oldest, and he's only 27.
Oh, oldest. My bad.
Yeah, oldest.
Yeah. Another son of Hall of Famer Randy Moss. Thaddeus Moss is on. So that's not Hayden Hurst really don't have a stronghold on this tight end spot like people may think he does.
Drew Sample was good in college, and Thaddeus Moss was real good in college, but he hasn't really done much in the NFL.
He was also. Let's give him a chance here.
True.
It's literally only his
third season, I think.
Thaddeus Moss. This is his second. Well, yeah,
it's going to be his third season.
This will be his third season. So that's good.
I mean, he still has all the potential in the world. I mean, you're son of a Hall of Famer. I mean, for sure you're going to have more opportunities than most people get. But but Hayden Hurst apparently, the reports are that he looks really good in preseason. But I think as a wide receiving trio, like these pass catchers receivers, I think Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd is as good as he's going to get in the National Football League right now.
Yeah.
So, and then the final thing, this Jesse Bates situation apparently does not report to training camp. This happened about a week ago. Still hasn't. He's pretty disgruntled about not being able to get a new contract before training camp. How do you see this Jesse Bates situation? How important is he to this team?
He's very important to this team. Like I will never understand why a team doesn't want to pay a guy who has, one, been a staple for your team, two, been with your team through good, bad, ugly, in between, everything, right? And every time you've asked him to produce, he's done it. Like I will never understand why teams don't pay that guy. Like Justin, what's his name in Denver? Justin Simmons. Like he went through the same thing in Denver,
Yeah.
but he eventually got his deal. Like I get it. He probably didn't like that he had to potentially he put himself at risk to get that deal. Right? They basically made him play a whole season without that guarantee of and that's nerve wracking. Like, to go in, week out. If I get hurt, this can cost me a deal. This can
Yeah,
cost.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, playing on the franchise tag in theory, it sounds nice because the money is fully
That
guaranteed. But
money's
like,
right.
but if you get hurt while playing on that contract, like you're basically leaving millions and millions of dollars on the table and long term future flexibility on the table there because you'll basically be playing on some sort of lesser deal. I'm not sure how this works out. He's extremely important to this team. Last season, he only allowed 30 catches. You know, he's essential to what they do in this defense. 88 tackles, 1 interception, 4 passes defense, which was a clear low last season. But because this team got better defensively as a unit, maybe you got attacked a little bit more.
Yeah, and that happens.
Yeah.
And especially when you got corners like Eli Apple on your team, like he
Yeah.
who has
10 interceptions in his career, 2 forced fumbles. Like he's been a pretty damn good football player.
he has. It's hard to deny him.
And he was very good in the postseason last year. In the playoffs.
Again, like I just don't get it. Like how do you? I don't get it.
Well, I think the thought process has got to be has this money because as we talked about before, one of the concerns about Cincinnati being an up and coming team is the fact that they have an ownership group that is notoriously cheap, right? So it was actually kind of surprising that this ownership group actually spent money this offseason to improve the roster. But when we come back to Joe Burrow is going to need a new deal. Jamar Chase is going to need a new deal. I mean, T. Higgins is going to need a new deal. All of these guys are going to need new deals. And so if you put Jesse Bates on a new deal, is that going to limit how you're able to bring back some of those other guys? And do they think maybe they can draft a safety that'll give you a third of what you get from Jesse Bates at a fraction of the cost? That's got to be the rationale. It's got to be. I mean, there's no other reason to do it.
Yeah, that's probably the old rationale. Like again, there's a quote unquote new standard in Cincinnati now, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, to your ownership point, yes, the Cincinnati Bengals have been historically cheap to the point where they literally forced Carson Wentz to retire. Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was just so done with Cincinnati. He went to the ownership, said, "Yo, trade me." Well, no, we're not going to trade you. All right. I don't want to play here. All right, so I will literally. He retired for a year. The last year of his contract, he retired. And when that year was over, he reinstated himself, came back, and then that's when he signed with what was it, the Raiders?
Yeah.
And then he went to the Cardinals and so on and so forth. The Cincinnati Bengals are the last team in the NFL to get an indoor practice facility. They still practice at Paul Brown Stadium. The stadium they play their home games in is the stadium that they host a training camp in. You can literally park your car on the overpass in Cincinnati, get out, and watch the Bengals practice. Like, that's how cheap.
Before, so this is way back to when the franchise first was founded. It's one of those weird pictures that you never can get over. Like when Paul Brown was when he originally founded the Cincinnati Bengals, he was trying to design a helmet for the team. And you see all these helmet designs, and he picks this one where it just says Bengals on the side, and it's the ugliest helmet you could ever pick in your life. And you look at the picture, and he's got all these different designs of helmets he could have picked from, and yet he picked the lamest, weakest one he could have picked. And a few years later, they go to the striped one. Now, by the way, that white jersey,
one, that white one, yeah,
so nice. But I do think this Jesse Bates situation will work itself out. I do think he'll play on this team. I think If I'm Jesse Bates, though, I would probably be playing elsewhere next season. I don't think he'll be back next year.
Yeah, because like this makes you feel like devalued in a sense, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm gonna need them to do is whoever the GM of the Bengals is, I'm gonna need you to call the GM of the Rams and be like, hey bro, how do you manage to afford to pay like you're paying Matt Stafford this and Jared Goff this on top of paying Aaron Donald, on top of giving
Yeah.
what's his name, Allen Robinson, whatever $1 million. J Ram is still getting paid. Leonard Floyd got a deal out here. Like it's so yeah, I'm gonna
Those Kronk guys over there, whoever owns I think that's who owns the Rams.
yeah.
Yeah, Kroenke, yeah. Moving on from the storylines, let's talk about the draft. So yeah, they took Daxton Hill, safety. I guess he's going to play a little bit of corner for them as well. I don't really know why he changed his position now, but whatever.
Well, it goes back to your Jesse Bates point.
Oh,
right?
he's for sure Jesse Bates insurance. Like if Jesse Bates decides doesn't want to play on that franchise tag, he's the insurance for that.
So like
100%.
And the
that's why they took safeties in back-to-back picks. Cam Taylor-Britt, safety out of Nebraska.
And the next season, so like if Jesse Bates leaves, all right, I got 2 replacements right here ready to go for like you said, a third of the price.
Yeah.
So like but again, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Like it's if you think one of these 2 dudes can replace Jesse Bates and do what he do, then just cut bait right now.
Yeah, true. And then in the third round, they took Zachary Carter, defensive tackle out of Florida, Cordell Volson, offensive lineman out of North Dakota State, Tyson Anderson, safety out of Toledo, and then Jeffrey Gunter, a defensive end out of Coastal Carolina. So when we think about their draft, I mean, they basically addressed all their offensive line concerns in free agency. So they were able to actually address other areas of need. And secondary is an area of need for the Cincinnati Bengals. And you got 2 safeties. Obviously, Daxton Hill can easily step in if Jesse Bates doesn't come. But if he does, you can play dime. You can play your slot corner in dime situations. Like he adds basically a chess piece, a versatile chess piece that you can use on your defense. That's a good football player.
Well, Daxton Hill. Okay, so again, I live in Illinois. David used to live in Illinois, but I live in Illinois. I saw a lot of this is Big Ten country, right?
I mean, I'm still in Indiana, man. It's still Big Ten country, baby.
He's still in Big Ten country. Hey, and by the way, go to a Fort Wayne Mad Ants game. That's the Mad Ants game. That's the G League affiliate of the Pacers. Go to one of the games, check it out. Let me know how it is because I've always wanted to go to a G League game. But anyway, that's the conversation.
The Mad Ants. That's a great name.
So, but Daxton Hill was on that Michigan team that went on that run this year. They finally, quote unquote, broke through the glass ceiling. They beat Ohio State. They win the Big Ten. They go to the college football playoff. And Daxton Hill was a part of that stingy Michigan defense until they played. Who the hell they played? Bama, was it Bama or either Bama or Georgia? And they got the doors blown off of them because that's just how it goes. Right?
Georgia.
Okay, they played. Thank you, Izzy. They played
the show CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Go ahead, DJ.
And so yeah, like that. But how we were saying at the beginning, like he's basically Jesse Bates' insurance plan, right? Like if Jesse Bates decides I'm too good to be playing on the franchise tag. It's not going. I'm not going for it. All right, Dax, you up? Next man up. That's a terrible situation to put that young kid in because he didn't ask for it, right? But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Zach Carter, DT. I didn't see. Maybe I didn't see enough of him, but you gotta be good to go in the third round. Right, and
6'4", 280, 499 in the 40 at defensive tackle out of Florida.
Say that again. Say that again.
6'4", 280 pounds. He ran a 499 in the 40-yard dash.
That's not human, bro. Like, you are not supposed to be 300 pounds running for anything. That is not okay.
A 5-second 40-yard dash at basically 230, like basically 300 pounds. Like
none of that is okay. All right, like that is just no. Like that is not okay at all. No, it should no. I'm not going.
And the other dude, the other Jeffrey Gunter, the kid out of Coastal Carolina, the defensive end, 6'4", basically 6'5",
Yeah.
260 pounds, a 4.7 in the 40-yard dash.
Well, I did see him because NIU played Coastal Carolina in their ball game, and it was nip tuck down the wire. Uh, NIU kind of ran into a Dallas Cowboys situation where the ref just wouldn't get out the way quick enough, and which it's like the NIU still should have had an opportunity because in college, the ball like the time stops after you get a first down, and
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's just like that didn't happen.
That's neither here nor there, but
it happens, right? But yeah, so if anything, if he makes the roster, just 7th round, 252.
Yeah,
that's like towards the end of the draft, right?
Yeah,
like
it's like 3 picks before the end, I think.
3 or 4, something like that. This like they didn't have a lot of draft picks, so like you have to make your draft class is really hanging on those first 3, maybe 4 picks.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get Cordell Volson to be a swing tackle and give you something, because they, as I mentioned, they addressed their offensive line kind of in free agency. Like they allowed them to take safeties in the first 2 rounds and defensive players in the 4th round because they addressed all their other needs in free agency. By the way, Cordell Volson, 6'6", 315 pounds. He ran a 5.2 in the 40-yard dash.
Out of
North Dakota State for Trey Lance, Carson Wentz.
FCS powerhouse, North Dakota State.
Yeah, did they finally lose a game?
Oh, let me look that up because it's been a while.
Yeah,
yeah, what's up, Izzy?
Izzy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the kid's a 3-time All-American, man. Cordell Volson. Yeah, no, I like the first 2 picks in there. Hello?
No,
yeah.
Hello?
Yes,
can you hear me? Oh, okay. I'm like, are you there? Are you there? I'm like, you guys can't hear me? Yeah, no, I like their first 2 picks because basically those guys are, they play safety in the league, but they both ran 4.38 40s. And so the good thing about they play safety in college, but in the league, they're projected in this defense to be cornerbacks. So, and then also, I mean, like you said, Jesse Bates, this whole situation, if it gets, resolved or whatever the case is, one of those guys could slip into that slot. But these guys are depth pieces at cornerback, and one of the fastest cornerbacks, both of them too. I like Cameron Taylor Britt's ball skills, especially in zone coverage, man. He's a ball hog. And then the kid from Florida, I seen a little bit of him, man. You know what? That kid's really good at rushing, like in terms of like bull rushing. I wouldn't say like he's like got like the craziest skills, like pass rushing skills, but he did have 20 and a half tackles for loss in his last 24 games. So that's saying something that he gets in the backfield a lot. So he's
7.5 sacks.
Had a tackle for loss at least in his last.
7.5 sacks last season as a defensive tackle.
So David, to answer your question, I think they did. They won 9 out of 11 FCS championships, and they had a 39-game win streak end in 2020. So from 2017 to 2021, they had 39 consecutive wins. So I think that streak came to an end. So
hold on, they only lost that one game where they showcased. What's his name? The kid from
Trey Lance?
The kid that's playing for the Niners. Godly.
Yeah, Trey Lance.
Was it the game that they lost? Was that the game? Yeah. Was that the game that they lost when they tried to showcase him?
I don't know, but their last 3 coaches, starting from 2003 to 2013, Craig Bowl, his record was 104-32. Chris Kleiman from 2014 to 2018, his record was 69-6. And head coach Matt Entz right now from 2019 till present, his record is 37-4. And Craig Bowl won what is this? Oh, Craig Bowl won 4 conference titles. Chris Kleeman won 5, and Matt Entz has won 2. And those national championships are 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, and 21. That is North Dakota State football.
Also, Cam Taylor-Britt, when he was he was upgraded to
that's a lot of success.
in 12 games, he had 11 pass deflections in 12 games.
Damn,
that's so good how he is at making ball plays on the ball.
It's also Nebraska. Like it's not like Nebraska. This is not your father's Nebraska from the 90s.
Man. I'm telling you, man. Out of both those guys, man. I mean, I know Dexter Hill got all the, because Michigan had that stingy defense, but that kid from Nebraska, man, he really can ball, man. He can really ball it out, man. So I think both of those guys are gonna be. You'll be hearing their names, man, in the starting rotation. I think both of those guys will be significant impacts in the next couple of years for them. I wouldn't say this year right away, but by next year, yeah.
Moving on to their free agency roster shakeup. So obviously major additions, Leo Collins, Alex Kappa, Ted Karakis, Hayden Hurst, Harchers, Riley Leaf, Ariel Ogunjobi, and then CJ Uzama. They basically rebuilt this entire offensive line, making these 3 additions on their free agency. They also, franchise tag J.C. Bates III, added Hayden Hurst after losing CJ. So what do we think about what they did here in free agency?
I mean, I like Lyle Collins getting out of Dallas. Like that's
re-signed Eli Apple.
Like that's a change of scenery that was desperately needed from a guy that every time the offensive line quote unquote crumbled, he took the blame. So Lyle Collins should be able to do big things with Cincinnati. Is Alex Kappa offensive lineman too?
Correct.
So
he's going to probably play center. He was a former member of the New England Patriots, signed a 3-year deal with Cincinnati this offseason.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it sucks losing a guy like Riley Reef. Like, has he been there for like?
So he did not play at all last season.
What is going on?
Hey, is he breaking up pretty bad, dude? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So why didn't he play last season? What was going
on? So he opted out for the COVID season, and I think he was hurt. And I just don't.
Oh, he got hurt. He got hurt.
Yeah.
But he spent time like he was with Minnesota for the longest, right?
Yeah, he spent 3 seasons in Minnesota, and then he ended up 1 season in Cincinnati. But basically didn't play at all during the 2021 season.
So this is his 3rd stop in the NFC North because he started off in Detroit, went to Minnesota, now he's here. And Hayden Hurst, like you're just hoping that he can stay healthy. Seriously.
Well, he was mostly healthy last season. He just wasn't all that good. But I mean, he still has that potential. There's still, he was a 1st-round pick of the, a few years ago, the Ravens. Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
So that offense. I like what they did with the offense.
Me too. I think when you look at the, I can hear you, but you're breaking up real bad. On paper, I love what they did this offseason in free agency. I think addressing their offensive line problems in free agency as opposed to taking swings in the draft makes sense to me. Why take a swing on somebody you don't know if you're going to as opposed to bringing somebody in who's proven to be productive? I think it's a home run when it comes to offense. When it comes to free agency, this is an A.
Yeah, you're just hoping those guys can keep that out. That's it.
Yeah. And you hope he'll stay healthy.
You got to keep Joe Burrow upright. I mean, he got sacked a lot the last couple seasons. But this season, I don't expect. I expect that number to go down tremendously, especially with the guys they brought in. And then you mentioned Hayden Hurst, right? I mean, he's literally like pretty much all they got, right? Because they have a whole bunch of ragtag tight ends, so they are really gonna miss CJ Uzoma at the tight end position. In my opinion. And then Larry Ogunjobi as well. That's why you drafted the kid out of Florida to kind of, come in and replace a little bit of that production that you're going to lose with him up the middle. So Definitely, I'll give this an A though because of what they did on the offensive line.
I totally agree with you on that. 100%. I love what they did in free agency. This is the way you're supposed to do it. When you come up short in the Super Bowl because Joe Burrow got killed when he couldn't make the pass to Jamar Chase for a walk-in touchdown, this is how you address your offensive line concerns. You don't do it in the draft. You should do it in free agency.
So they got 3 off. So yeah, Alex Kappa and Ted. How you say that? Karras?
I think it's Caracas.
Ted Karras.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the no Ted Karras was the center from New England, right?
Correct.
Yeah, dude is solid, man. I like all 3 of those guys, man. Honestly, to be honest, man. I mean, Joe Burrow, if he doesn't stay upright, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what happens. Either those guys are injured,
and they have Jonah Williams, who showed flashes as a rookie. Hopefully he can find that form he had as a rookie and continue to get better. Let's talk about their schedule. So the first game of the season, we talked about they're going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt, looking to probably potentially win Defensive Player of the Year this year, running back, and maybe get the sack record, tied it last year. Do you see Bengals beating Pittsburgh on opening week? Yes or no?
I don't know who Pittsburgh's starting at quarterback, so right now you got to go with them. Right? It's.
I know it doesn't matter who's starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm giving it to.
It kind of does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Like we can be funny, but no, it seriously does.
Either if it's Mason Rudolph or Mitchell Trubisky, it doesn't matter. They're going to get beat.
Or
this game is in Cincinnati. They're not losing the first game of the season.
So you just gonna disrespect Kenny Pickett like that? Like he can't win the starting job?
I don't think he will.
Like, come on, man.
I mean, he could, but I'm not predicting that.
Like this is a rivalry game. Like they do give up. They do give up.
I know. I'm
gonna start calling them the Pickster.
And this is gonna be a real test.
I got the Bengals winning this game.
It's gonna be a real test for that offensive line that's so well put together now. All right, you got a DPOY candidate on the other side. Let's see
you have a guy that wants to break the sack record on the other side.
Yeah, let's see what you can do. I don't know, but because of the unknown quarterback situation, we got to go with Cincinnati. I don't know what just happened because the schedule disappeared.
Oh shit! I must have. Yeah. I think that's on me. But yeah, the next week they go to the Dallas Cowboys, take on the Cowboys. Let me fix it. I must have. No, I didn't. What is happening here? Hold on. I am not sure what happened. All right, there we go. All right, then they go to Dallas, take on the Cowboys. This game is obviously in Jerry World. Who do you guys have winning this game? I'm going to take Cincinnati. I do think this game will be really close, but I'll take Cincinnati to win this game in Dallas.
This is. I don't know how well Cincinnati fans travel. Like I really don't. Like they might have found some newfound fans this past season. So I don't know. Like this is gonna be a real opportunity for those Dak believers to be like, see, Dak is better than Joe Burrow. All right, well, prove it. No, seriously, prove it. Like if you go into this game and you outduel the reigning AFC champions, it does you well. Right? It's CeeDee Lamb, Eli Apple. Yeah, give me CD.
It's crazy. Four of the first 6 games are on the road. This is one of the road games that they lose. The first 6 games to me.
Okay. I have them beating Dallas, and then so they got the next game. They go to the New York Jets in the MetLife Stadium, take on those New York Football Jets, and technically New Jersey. I think they come out of this and they bounce off the schneid and they get a victory here. I also think they get a victory in the next game where they go. Miami comes to Cincinnati. I think they win those 2 games against 2 AFC East opponents, 2-2. So I got them at 3-1 coming out of that, or 4-0, 4-0 actually.
Wow, you got them on their first 4 games. Well, I give them 3-1. I think they lose to Dallas. I think they somehow, some way fumble that bag in Dallas. I got them 3-1. Make that 3 and I'm gonna go 3-2 because Baltimore's gonna be healthy.
We assume Baltimore's gonna be
We
healthy by this
assume
point.
and that secondary did get carved. And
Yeah.
you don't forget stuff like that just overnight.
Yeah,
Right?
what do they think? What did Joe Burrow throw for like 525 yards against the secondary?
Yeah, what was that? In one game? Like
Yeah.
that was ugly. That was ugly.
I do think they go to Baltimore, and I think they fall. I think Baltimore beats them. Did I spell Baltimore wrong?
No, you spelled it right.
It just looks weird. I don't know. But yeah, I think they go to Baltimore. I think they actually lose this game. I have them down at 4-1. Before they go to New Orleans, Izzy, who do you got them? Do you have them beating Baltimore?
Yeah, I have them beating Baltimore at Baltimore actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't see enough production at that wide receiver position for Baltimore, for them to make a difference. We don't know what the health is like with the running back situation. We don't know what the health is going to be like, at the in the DB situation. So yeah, give me Baltimore losing a one at home, and this is kind of going along with the prediction that I made in the Baltimore show as well. So I got the Bengals winning our early game in Baltimore.
And then they go to New Orleans to take on that reloaded New Orleans Saints offense and defense. Do you have them coming out of the Bayou with the victory, TJ? Or is he?
Jameis? Is Jameis?
I'll go
Jameis
first. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
While you figuring it out, TJ. I got them taking an L in New Orleans. I think the defense is definitely good enough to win that game. I got the same skepticisms as probably TJ. Is what he's gonna say. Hey, Jameis Winston. Dang, do they have anything else? I was kind of healthy. He had a good control and command of that offense. So I'm gonna assume he's healthy in New Orleans. It's always a tough time to play. Give me New Orleans winning that one at home.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think Cincinnati has a 2-game losing streak. I think they go to New Orleans, and I think they lose. I look at that New Orleans Saints defense. I think it's good enough to compete with any team in the NFL. Give me New Orleans to actually win this game in New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't like it, but yeah.
And then they stay in the NFC South, but this time Atlanta comes to town. Probably with still Marcus Mariota as their quarterback, even though there are some rumblings of a Jimmy Garoppolo situation going on in Atlanta. But I do not think it matters. Cincinnati wins this game. They get off this game 2-game schneid. They jump back up to 5-2. TJ.
Yeah, come on now.
And then they go to Cleveland.
Come on now.
We are expecting that update on Deshaun Watson tomorrow. So whatever that suspension ends up being, we will be posting it on our Facebook page so you can read it. You see it first here at Prime Sports World. But they go to Cleveland. What is this game number 7, 8?
Number 8. This is number 8.
Yeah,
this is number 8. Hey.
So
I'm sure. I've heard things that he may not. Am I breaking up?
You're breaking up bad.
I'm saying I'm hearing things that he may not get suspended. He may get an 8-game suspension. He may get a full season
suspended.
Anyway, I'm actually gonna go with and so I don't know. We don't know.
With that being said, I'm going to actually take Cincinnati to beat Cleveland in Cleveland. I expect this will be an 8-game suspension, and so this will be the Jacoby Brissett show and the Nick Chubb show. But I'll have Cincinnati beating Cleveland in Cleveland to boost up to 6-2 before that game against Carolina. TJ, what do you got going on? What's going on with you? That pick.
Yeah, if this is game 7, Deshaun Watson is still going to be suspended.
This would be game 8. I'm assuming he's still going to be suspended. He wouldn't be back
until
week 9.
He's still going to be suspended. So Deshaun Watson's not there either way. He's out of there. They don't know. They can have They can have all the players on defense they want. No, they don't have it.
And then they finish. They go back into the NFC South where they take on Carolina before they start their bye week. They're gonna beat Carolina in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go into their bye week, and then they come back and they go to the Pittsburgh Steelers into whatever they're calling Heinz Field now, Shuriker or whatever. I'm just gonna continue to call it Heinz Field because I just think it works better. Do they go to Pittsburgh and get a victory coming out of their bye week?
Probably.
I'm gonna say yeah. Say yeah.
I think they sweep. Again, we don't know what the quarterback situation is in Pittsburgh. All right, by this point, maybe Kenny Pickett's your starter, maybe not. I don't know. Again, you don't draft a guy in the first round and not play him unless you're just, if that's the plan, then stick to it, right? Stick to the plan. Like if your plan is to sit Kenny Pickett for the year, then no matter how bad it gets with Trubisky or Mason Rudolph or whoever is going to be playing quarterback, you don't play that kid if you don't want to play him. Right? If the plan is to not play him, then don't play him, because if you throw him in there before he's ready, you're going to set him up for failure. And we've seen that story time and time again. So this is the year that Cincinnati finally gets some get back, and they sweep Pittsburgh. Like, come on, man! Like, when's the last time you could say Cincinnati swept Pittsburgh?
I mean, I do not remember. I don't think they did it last year, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they sweep Pittsburgh, and then they have the playoff rematch against the Tennessee Titans, where they go to Nashville into Nissan Stadium, the home of SummerSlam from last night. If any of you guys had a chance to watch any of that SummerSlam stuff, pretty good stuff. Brock Lesnar lifted the ring up at one point. It was wild
with a tractor.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. But does Cincinnati go into Tennessee and flip the script against the Titans?
Yes.
I agree with you on that, actually. I think Cincinnati does get a win in Tennessee.
Yes, I got 10.
So I got them at 9-2. And then they go to two games where at home. Two could be their most difficult two games in a row the entire season. First, Kansas City comes to town in a rematch of the AFC Championship game, a game that Cincinnati won. And then Cleveland comes to town. We're going to assume that Deshaun Watson is back at this point. Do you think they come out of this trio doubleheader of games with back-to-back victories? Yes or no?
This is who and who now? Kansas City and Cleveland?
Yeah.
No.
Both games at home.
No. I think they lose both.
Oof. I think they're going to lose the Kansas City game. I think if Cleveland starts out rough to begin the season, even if Deshaun Watson does get reinstated, they may just punt the rest of the year. Who knows? But I'll have them beat Cleveland, but I'm having them lose to Kansas City. Izzy.
Yeah, I got them losing to Kansas City. Got them beating Cleveland. What I was saying before the whole Deshaun Watson, before kind of everything went off about Deshaun Watson, we'll know about it more tomorrow. But I mean, there might be a possibility he doesn't get suspended. I know that he probably is going to, but there might be a possibility he doesn't because of him being out all of last year.
That ain't got nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing.
I don't think that's the case, but I think he only gets 8 games, 6 to 8 games, probably 6 games. That's probably the norm. So yeah, by this time he's back, but I don't think it matters. I had them losing that first game at Cleveland, so I got them winning this one at home against Cleveland.
Yeah. And then they go 2 games on the road against Tom Brady, and then Tom Brady's former team, Tampa Bay, and then New England, back-to-back games, both games on the road. Izzy, do you see them getting 2 victories in this?
No, they lose. They lose to Tampa. They lose in Tampa. They beat New England. Right now, currently, they're 9-6 in my book right now, with Buffalo and Baltimore.
I think I got them somewhere in that range too, Izzy.
I got them at 11-4. I have them beating New England and also losing Tampa Bay. I think New England may take a step back this season. I haven't really loved what they've done this offseason.
New England gonna take us that's you said that that's a hot take.
Okay.
So
I
I said something on that Baltimore Ravens show. I said that that the Cincinnati Bengals they may be up there with the Buffalo Bills, but then here we go. They got a late game with the Buffalo Bills. Time to prove yourself, right? You can win your 10th game here and get in the driver's seat because I think at the end of the year, Baltimore and Cincinnati are gonna be playing for that division in that last game in Cincinnati. So that's what I think this sets up to. I don't think they beat Buffalo. They lose to Buffalo. They're
agree.
nine,
I
seven
agree.
right now.
And then I think that Baltimore comes to town, and I think they beat Baltimore, and I think they finish the season 12-5, and that would be probably good enough to win the AFC North. I do not think it's good enough to be the number one seed in the AFC.
That wins. Okay, 12 games. I think is gonna be 12 games. I think is I think they win the AFC North by a game or two with 12 games. I think going into the last game, I think Baltimore's a 10-win team going into that last game against Cincinnati, possibly playing for a playoff spot in the wild card. I don't know. 11 wins is probably the magic number to get in to the AFC playoffs.
TJ, did you pick Tampa Bay, New England? How do you see the last four of these games shaking out?
Yeah, they lose to Tampa. They beat New England because New England's taking a step back. You don't say. Like, come on, man. Like, they have one of the worst receiving cores in football.
They had one of the worst off seasons I can remember in a long time. They traded away Shaq Mason for nothing. They reached on their first 2 draft picks. Yeah.
Right, like New England has one of the worst receiving cores in football, but somehow the Bears have the absolute worst receiving core in football. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, no, I thought the Packers did.
They up there too.
Tennessee.
They up there too. Like Green Bay.
And then
up
Baltimore.
there too. Baltimore up there too. Like, it's
Tennessee's probably even worse out of everybody.
I mean, Tennessee, the Falcons have a terrible wide receiving core.
There's just a bunch of them.
I mean, who outside of Kenyon Drake? I mean, who does Atlanta even have?
They have the kid they drafted,
the
kid from USC.
I said outside of that guy. That's Kenyon Drake.
That's not Kenyon Drake.
Drake London. Sorry,
Drake London. What are you talking about? This guy loves Kenyon Drake so much, TJ. He loves Kenyon Drake so much. He mentioned him. Oh.
Well, you still got Kyle Pitts, so there's.
Anyway. So how do you Buffalo, Baltimore? How do you see those 2 games shaking out?
I think they because of that. Because of that. You're only down to one bye week now.
Yeah.
So none of these teams that we think are going to be, that we think that's going to be in it at the end, Tampa, Buffalo, Baltimore, you can no longer afford to sit guys because you're probably going to need one of these games to solidify your seeding, or unless there's just no way, unless there's any way, shape, or form that no matter what happens, win, lose, or tie, your spot is clinched. So that being said, I think Buffalo's on a mission this year. They are the Super Bowl favorites. They have the MVP favorite. That usually tends to go in their favor. I mean, it's in Cincinnati. Like, that's the only thing in Cincinnati. I mean, that's not the only thing Cincinnati has going for them, but that helps. But give me Buffalo and Baltimore. I think they beat Baltimore. I think I'm gonna have them split with Baltimore. So I think I got them going 11-6, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't finished the season 12-5. But yeah, I think they're for sure good enough to win the NFC North. I do not think they'll be the number one seed in the AFC. I think that will go to Buffalo. I predict when we did their show, I had them at 16-1. So I just don't think anybody's better. They might even have a better record than the Chargers next season.
If they the first Cleveland game, honestly, if Deshaun Watson ain't playing, you could carve that up for me as a win. So they're 11-win ball club. And so, but honestly, if they beat Baltimore, I got them either a game ahead of or tying with Baltimore for the division, and we'll see what happens from there. But it's gonna be close between them and Baltimore.
Yeah, so let us know down in the comment section what you think about the Cincinnati Bengals. How good do you think they'll be this season? 12-5 with 11 wins seems to be the consensus here across the panel. One more thing before we get up out of here. Just wanted to give our thoughts and prayers out to the family of Bill Russell. Passed away today at the age of 88 years old. One of the greatest basketball players in the history of the league. We're going to do a crossover episode at some point this week, and we'll do a full dive into Bill Russell's career and his legacy and what he's meant for the sport as a whole. But we just wanted to give him a little shout out here. It just happened today. Thoughts and prayers to one of the top 10 greatest players in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, probably the greatest winner in the NBA and in NBA history. And also, man, Bill Russell lived a full, his life. He's seen it all, right? He's an activist. He was the first black head coach in the NBA. Man, that guy was greatness, man. So
11-time champ, just
5-time NBA MVP.
Yeah.
So yeah, so. Bill Russell, man. Bill Russell's the man. May you fly up there in the heavens, man. I'll see you at the pearly gates.
He played for 13 years. He won the title 11 times.
and let's not to mention, he was having to go. People want to say, he was going against janitors. No, he was going against Wilt Chamberlain, and for the title every year, damn near, and Elgin Baylor and them boys and Jerry West.
Yeah, so, kudos to a life well lived for Bill Russell. We'll do a deep dive when we do our crossover episode, probably on Friday, however it ends up shaking out. We'll see what ends up being the schedule because, I start my new job tomorrow. So, everybody at Prime Sports World, wish me luck on that endeavor.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. But yeah, I've been David Huffman right there. Mr. TJ Hopkins, CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Thank you very much for joining us for our Bengals preview series. There are 4 teams left. It's just the NFC West. It is the 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, 49ers, and then the Super Bowl winning Los Angeles Rams. I've been David Huffman. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat.
Yes, sir, baby. And continue sharing, and subscribing on the podcast. Thank you very much for all your viewership. We will see you guys all later. You all have a good night.
Cardinals, Niners.
Cool, man.
All right. Good luck on your new job.
Appreciate it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.